YouTube. Happy 2025. I don't know what you say, Merry 2025. I was thinking about a topic on relationships. An important thing in a relationship is trust. And if you look up the definition of trust, it is the belief, I believe it's the belief in the reliability of someone or something. Reliability. How important is trust in a relationship? How important is... I'm driving back to this house because I believe I might have left the water on, and it's better to be safe than sorry, because I have left the water on here before, and going back to this thing called trust, if this quiet. If this customer, knock it off. This customer finds that I have left the water on again. Get off. She is not going to trust me to service this pool properly. Double checking everything. Okay, water's off. Water's off. Hold on, please. Okay, let me resume. I did shut the water off. Mind you, I was probably 7 miles across town. And I said, hey, let me make sure, even if I have the inkling of the thoughts that I left her water on, I turned back around. And we're going to discuss what inklings are in trust. But I'd like to say, first of all, that trust, I believe you give trust first. You give trust first. You give trust first in a relationship. Some may say trust is earned. I believe you have to earn trust back once there has been a breach of the trust initially given. Say if I got caught cheating on my wife, or if I got caught cheating, or if I'm cheating on my wife and she catches me cheating, whether that be emotional cheating, whether she's catching too many likes, let me double check these tires, whether she's catching that I'm liking too many females' posts, that tire's okay. And we're going to talk about another thing. My tire went bad last week, so I'm riding on a spare. So I'm checking my tires now because because of an incident that happened, my trust got diminished. I need new tires on this old girl. My trust got diminished. So which means my trust got weakened. Because the reason why I drove back across town, literally I was probably about 4 or 5 minutes away from home, was because I did not trust that I turned her water off. I had this inkling that, okay, let me check. Because I've left her water on probably on possibly 3 other occasions in a 10-year period. So whether it was, within a 10-year period, whether it was in a 3-day period, one time was one time too many. So now I do not trust myself 100% that I turned the water off. So with that notion in mind, I checked. When if you have spouses that go through, if they pick up a cell phone, they check a couple things, you would have to ask yourself, okay, and if it's not normal for them, okay, well, what happened? Like, my wife can pick up my phone anytime, pour into it, and I can do hers likewise. But if you find that they don't normally do that, and then they reach for it and they start looking, okay, well, what caused that action to occur? What caused that action to occur? Was there a breach of trust? And whether you think whether that person doesn't think it a breach of trust, okay, what happened? Why did I turn around and check to see why did I drove 7 miles across town? And I'll have an exact count here in a minute. But because I did a breach of my own trust in previous occasions, I've diminished my trust, which means that I have to now check. I have to double check behind me to make sure I did everything correctly. Trust in a relationship is very, very, very important. When someone says, I don't trust you, that hits me hard, because that is saying I don't have any faith in you. I do not believe in you. Stop waving at me. Don't y'all hate the sign wavers? I think they can pose as a distraction and cause an accident. But yeah, it's like my customers trust that Joshua is going to show up. They don't have to double check behind me. I have also told customers, if you find yourself micromanaging me, I am not the person for you. I am not the person for you. You've always got to come behind me, check, look at my work. Was he there? If a clean pool isn't enough, I'm not the person for you, because you've heard me say in previous posts, I am what I am. If I say I'm going to be somewhere, which is the reason why I ran 2 stops, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. You can best your bottom dollar like clockwork that you can trust me to do what I am asked to do. I do not like being questioned. I told my wife, I said, if we talk about something, I said, you really don't have to question me about certain things or anything, because I make sure that I cross all of my T's and I dot all of my I's. If I say I am going to be somewhere, you can best your bottom dollar. Y'all might hear that if you go there, I will be there. If I say I wasn't somewhere, you can best your bottom dollar, and I literally have receipts. I have paper receipts of everything I do. That I'm there. I leave no reason for suspicion of anyone. And if there was a time where I would leave reasonable suspicion, hey, let me know. Bring it up to my face. Trust is so important in a relationship. Whether you give your heart to a person, whether you trust that person is the only person that you're sleeping with for health reasons, for financial reasons, whether you trust that a person is being 100% transparent with you. Very important. Very important. And the reason why it's important is because you and your partner are one. There should not be any secrecy. Any secrecy in marriage. If I can't say it in front of my wife, I shouldn't be saying it. If I can't have an open conversation about anything, or if my wife questions me, hey, did you have this conversation? If I can't be 100% with her, why are we even one person? Why are we even one person? in business, let's talk about business. If you are in business with a group of people, finances and transparency need to be 100% open. If you're joining your money with anybody, church, business partners, you'll find a lot of stories. Well, I didn't know that that Tom was doing this and this is supposed to be done there, and blah. You've got to have that trust, because if you don't have that trust, what do women want in a relationship? Security. Whether the woman is providing on her own, or whether she got a good man at home, security is a big thing. Security for a man is also a big thing. On a man's behalf, it's because we want to, hey, if there's a woman at home taking care of all the bills, we trust that you're doing the right thing. We trust that, okay, you ain't getting into debt yourself and not telling us. If you getting into debt, at least tell me. At least tell me. I may not like it. If you got a spending problem, at least you tell me, so I can understand how to deal with it, how to combat it. I can make a conscious decision of, okay, is this something that I'm willing to deal with, that we're willing to weather? Even if you're a guy out there and you want to have another woman, look at you, go to home and tell your woman, hey, I want to do this. Hey, that's what you call pimping big time, when you can be honest with it. When you can be honest with it, and maybe she might say we don't need to be married, but at least you put that out there. I heard one guy say that. He said if you're a real player, you be upfront with everything, and you stand 10 toes. Is it 10 toes? Yeah, you stand 10 toes down on what you say. When there has been a breach of trust, and when there has been a breach of trust for whatever reason, that's when inklings happen. That's when you leave people open, when people question you, when there's a breach of trust. So what's going on here? Well, I don't understand this, or I don't understand that. Okay, explain. When somebody got to ask you too many questions, that means that either you're not being 100% transparent with them, or you need to lay everything out on the table and say, hey, this is what it is, and then deal with what may come of that. Deal exactly what may come of that. Because here's the thing about it. It always leads to more strain on one of the parties. It always leads to more strain, to more stress on one of the parties. You've got to be, and if my dad happens to watch this, he might concur or agree with. He might agree, because I'll tell you a personal family story that he found out. Well, here's the thing. I'll tell you a story. My dad loves, and he still has love for my mother, the woman who raised me, not my biological mother. That was his Jennifer Lopez. My mother did not make him aware that she was 13 years his senior. She didn't make him aware that he was 13 years his senior. My grandmother, how old is my dad? 60. How old am I? I'm 46, so he's 60, 67, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82. My grandmother's 16 years older than my father, I believe. I believe she's 16 years older than my father. I hope I'm right about that. She's born in 38. But anyway. I thought this guy was about to rear end me. She wasn't honest about her age And her son was 10 years younger than my father. And when my mother introduced her son, my mother lied about his age. And the son would say, hey, Mom, no, I'm really this age. He was of age to buy alcohol. And my father scratching his head. Inklings. Remember, inklings. Like, hey, if this kid's only 17, why is he buying beer and doing this and doing... And he may not have paid attention to it. I'm not going to say men don't pay attention. We really do. We just do what we do with everything else. We put it in a compartment. All right, well, let me put that on off, and continue to bury myself in the work. I love this woman, blah, blah, blah. Wasn't aware. Too many of these stories kept happening. When he met her sister, inklings came up. So my father, one day, had an inkling and began to search through her items in the attic, and found out that she had 2 birth certificates, and she was actually 13 years older than him. And I was there, it caused a big argument of, hey, you should have at least let me know, blah, blah, blah. Because all of a sudden, all these things began to snowball. All her stories began to snowball. All of them began to snowball. All right, let's fast forward 20 years down the line. My mother now and my father, at 20 years down the line, she's supposed to be going to work. And my father's thinking that she's working the night shift and she's supposed to be home at a certain time. She's not coming home. And at that time, I was married to my first wife. And I said to myself, why don't her shift end at such time? Why is she not coming home? It's 11 o'clock. Inklings. And I went in and knocked on my sister's door. Hey, where's your mom at? All of a sudden, hush, hush. There's this big hush. And anyway, make a long story short, found out that my mother had a second living residence that she used to go to after work. That she used to go to, and she had all. It led to a long trail of deceit, of finding stuff out. And my father, at that time, was losing his hair, was going into a financial crisis, because he was, my mother's constantly spending, and he's not knowing what's going on. He's still trying to balance the bills of the house, blah, 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 blah. It led to all of these things, but eventually it led to divorce. And he wasn't the one that called divorce. He still wanted to stay with my mother, but he was like, yo, you have built all of these things of mistrust up during the years. Now remember, trust is initially given. For whatever reason, if that trust is destroyed and that relationship still has to continue, that trust has got to be rebuilt. It's good. That means the rebuilder of the trust is the one that these, like my mother, should have been the one to rebuild that trust. Rebuild and to give her a one-off after the forgiveness, she did do that. She rebuilt the trust. Then later on in life, damaged that trust severely to the point where she was crying to me, wondering what happened, and I should have did things right. Yes, I was there. Between you and your partner, business partner, husband, wife, spouse, have 100% trust and 100% transparency. 100%. Because when you have 100% transparency and trust with your partner, you're actually giving them a choice. You're giving them a choice. Now, yeah, I said every day would be a new day that I would choose you. But you've actually got to give me that choice. You've got to give me the choice to say, hey, at least, and my wife would tell you if she's watching, he always says, at least make the offer. and give me the option or choice to turn it down or to go elsewhere with it. Because once you at least make a genuine offer, don't make the offer for the sake of making the offer, because you know what the person's going to say. Once you make the genuine offer, what happens after that isn't your fault. It's the burden of the person that made the choice. At least give me a choice. At least, if you're gonna be honest with me. Give me a choice so I can sit there and make an educated decision. So I know what we need to do or how I'm gonna steer the ship. When you take away trust, you take away all the options. You take away choice. You take away. And here's the thing. You're like, well, how does that take away choice? How does it doesn't take away choice for the person asking for the trust to be reassured. It takes away the choice of the offender. You know, now, as Dr. John Deloney said, hey, if you get caught cheating with your wife, she may say, or cheating on your wife or partner or husband, that husband or spouse has the right to say, hey, let me see your phone. Let me go through A, B, C, and D. Open up A, B, C, and he was like, and if you don't do that, that's on you. But it didn't have to come to that because you destroyed the trust. Like, subscribe, hit the share notification, hit the share button, hit the bell notification. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section on trust. Peace.